إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيبنا محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وأحبابه وأتباعه وعلى كل من اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته واقتفى أثره إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد فسبحانك اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Today is Monday, the 5th day of Dhul Hijjah. The 5th of Dhul Hijjah, it's 1443 Hijri, and it's also the 4th day of July 2022. And this is our lesson number 9 in our book Fiqhus Seerah by Professor Zaid Abdul Karim Zaid. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to grant him goodness. Ameen. In our previous lessons, we read Hadithatul Fil, the incident of the elephant. Basically, what is the incident of the elephant? So, what do you remember about the incidents of the elephant?
Remember, there was this king who wanted to come and destroy the Kaaba. He came with his army soldiers, 20 of them,
and what was that? And what happened at the end?
They came with elephant, big giant elephant, 20 of them.
Okay.
Allah killed them by sending some bird with stones.
And they were destroyed. So basically that is the Hadithatul Fil, the incident of the elephant. And it happened in which year?
Zulhijjah.
Did you mention the year? Yes, that is the number, but it happened in the same year Rasulullah was born.
The same year he was born.
The same year Rasulullah was born. That was when it happened. And we treated some lessons in regards to that incident. From amongst the lessons is that when the Quraysh follow the Prophet ﷺ and then they abide by his teachings and then they become Muslims, automatically other tribes will also follow suit because they see the tribe of Quraysh at that time to be the superpower because they were the ones who were able to stand and resist this Abyssinian man, Abraham. And then we saw the second lesson that spoke about the efforts this man from Banu Kinana did, and then left his town Mecca, traveled all the way to Yemen, more than 1,000 kilometers, just because he wants to defend and protect his religion and his belief. And then we saw the importance of us as Muslims doing same, exerting efforts, doing everything possible to also deliver and then give your quota when it comes to serving the religion. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we continue from point number 3. إن أحوال العرب وقت حادثة الفيل تدل على أنهم كانوا أوزاعا وأشتاتا. During the incident of the elephant, when this man came with his army and then wiped out several towns or several cities before getting to Medina, this incident tells us that the Arabs themselves at that time were disunited and they were divided, they were not united. فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ هُوَ خَادِعٌ لِلْأَكَاسِرَةِ فِي الْعِرَاقِ. From amongst the Arabs, there were those who had submitted themselves to the kings of Iraq at that time. They felt they were so weak, so they had to go and then pay homage. We are weak, you guys are the Persians, you guys are the superpowers, you guys are the strong ones, so we are here to be your servants or your subjects. We will be under you. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ هُوَ خَادِعٌ لِلْرُومِ. From amongst the Arabs, there were those who had also submitted themselves to the Romans. في الشام. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ هُوَ خَادِعٌ لِلْأَحْبَاشِ فِي الْيَمَنِ. Others were also submissive to the Abyssinians. So these people were not united. From amongst the Arabs, there were those who submitted themselves to the Iraqians. There were others who, at that time the Iraqis were not Muslims. Mind you, the Persians at that time were not Muslims. So this had, had given the mantle of leadership to these people to dictate their affairs and then their lives for them. Others also sensed their pledge of allegiance to the people of to the Romans in Sham, others to the Ahbash. ومنهم القبائل العربية المتحاربة وسط الجزيرة العربية. For amongst them, there were tribes that were fighting each other. So I just want you to imagine this scenario. These people were not a united people. For amongst them, there were those who were paying allegiance to different masters. And different masters, they were fighting amongst themselves. They were not at peace with each other. ولما جاءهم هذا الغزو الخارجي ماذا صنع بهم. So when this war, when this battle from outside came to them, what did the war do? كان يمر قبيلة. When this man with his army came, he moves from one tribe to the other tribe. And any tribe he gets to, the tribe falls. The tribe, is vanquished. And one sad thing is, when all these things were happening, since these people were not a united people, they were not together, they didn't care if tribe A had been destroyed. Because they were not united. And they cared less. But they forgot that when the man destroys that tribe, they are next. They forgot that. And this reminds me of the story of the three bulls, the three cows. There's a story. Basically, it's the story of the three bulls, the three cows, the male cows, called a bull. The story of the three bulls, these bulls lived in an area surrounded by lions. And two of the bulls were black, and one was white. Two were black, and one was white. And I want us to pick lessons from this, then we continue our reading from our book, inshallah ta'ala. These bulls together came out to pose as a very, very powerful threat against the lions living around that territory. So no lion in its right sense would dare attack the lions when they were three. Would dare attack the bulls when they were three because they were very, very powerful. So the two black bulls sat down and said to each other, at night, this white bull exposes us because he's white. We are black, so in the darkness, we will not be seen. But the white bull will be seen. So if we keep on hanging around this white bull would create a problem for us. So let's disassociate ourselves from the white bull. So they did that. So they left the white bull all alone. They were disunited. So when the lion came and realized the white bull was all alone, it could easily overpower the white bull and it finished the white bull. Now the strength of the bulls had dropped from 3 to 2. So it was an easy prey for the lion to come and then try his luck and see. The lion struggled and managed to finish one of the 2 black bulls. And soon after, he came for the 3rd bull, the last bull. The moment the lion pounced upon the bull, and it was almost about to rip the throat of the bull off, the black bull said, Ukiltu yawma ukila thawrul abyad. I wasn't killed today. I didn't see my death today. I wasn't eating today. But rather, I was eating the day the white bull was eaten. The day the white bull lost its life was the day we lost our strength and power. So disunity destroys every nation. So if we are together as an ummah, as a nation, hold on firmly to each other, and what we are supposed to hold on firmly to is the rope of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Not tribal reasons, nothing. It should be La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, based upon the understanding of the Salaf, the righteous predecessors. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, says Allah Azza wa Jalla. So these people, were divided, they were disunited. So when this man comes, he just wipes a town off and then moves on to the next town. فلم يكن للعرب بصفتهم عربا مكان في هذا العالم. At that time, the Arabs didn't have anything worth mentioning. They didn't have any position, they didn't have any power. Because they were wicked and they were disunited. فما حدث في قصة الفيل كان مقياسا لحقيقة العرب وقوتهم المجردة عن الإسلام حينما تعرضوا لغزو خارجي. So what happened in the incident of the elephants, whereby this man came in and conquered them all from one tribe, from one town to the other, it really tells us and gives us a clear understanding of the true nature of the Arabs at that time. And their true strength when Islam wasn't in the picture, this was how they were. They were a disunited nation. But when Allah Azza wa Jalla placed Islam in the spotlight, when Islam was in the scenes, working with them, they became one strong and powerful nation, so strong that the entire area, the entire region bowed down to them in respect and in honor. هذه حقيقة القومية العربية المجردة. This is the true nature of the Arabian tribalistic system. And I would like to cite examples with our own tribal settings. So when I mention Arab, even though the professor wrote Arab in his book, I want you to think about your own tribe, about your own clan. So this is the true nature of the Arabian or the Arabian tribal system. قبائل متصارعة فيما بينها. They were tribes that were fighting each other. They were all Arabs, but they fought against each other. منها ما هو خادم الذلول لغيره. From amongst them, there were those who have been submissive. They've submitted themselves to the superpowers we made mention of. ومنها ما هو مقاتل مع جاره. From amongst them, there were those who fight with their neighbors. They were neighbors, but they fight with each other. They are always at loggerheads. And inshallah ta'ala, as we continue reading, you'll see some of the battles that happened in the lives of some two tribes in Medina, Aus and Khazraj. They fought for each other for over 40 years, fighting each other. And what was the cause of the fights? You'll be surprised. They fought over a camel. Over a camel, they fought for 40 years. When they fight and fight and fight, and the young men die, then the big and the old men will come and then sit with each other and tell them, okay, for now, our young fighters have died. Your young fighters have also died. So let's hold on. It's not that they are making peace. No. Let's hold on until our wives give birth to young guys, and your wives also give birth to young guys. They grow and then become strong enough to fight, then we commence fighting again. Just imagine this. For several years they were fighting. Let's come and sit together, not to make peace, but rather let's hold on, let's pause the war, let's pause the battles. We'll continue after 5, 10, 7 years. This was what they were doing. So there were tribes that fought with each other. La qimata laha wa la hisaba. Those tribes had no power, they had no strength. Because it is said, united we stand, divided we fall. So they were of no value, they were of no use, they had no influence, nothing at all for them. إلا بعد أن انضبط تحت راية الإسلام. They only got their power and their strength when they all submitted and fell under the flag of Islam. What united them now wasn't tribalistic reasons. What united them was La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And this kalima La ilaha illallah transcends tribe. It transcends race. It goes beyond nations. If you are a Muslim here in Ghana, a Muslim in China is your brother. Allah says, Innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. That is why our Muslim cousins, they always say these things. When you go to the Zongos, if you touch one Muslim, then everyone rises up against you. Why are they like that? This is our belief that innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. Prophet ﷺ says, مَثَلُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ فِي تَوَادِّهِمْ وَتَرَاحُمِهِمْ وَتَعَاطُفِهِمْ كَمَثَلِ جَسَدٍ وَاحِدٍ. The similitude of the believers in terms of how they love each other, how they respect each other, how they take care of each other is similar to the body of a person. If one part of your body feels pain, the entire body joins that part in feeling that pain. Your feet or your toe is hurt. You find yourself not being able to sleep at night. Your eye has not felt any pain. Your eye wasn't hurt. It is your toe. But because of the relationship between your eye and then your toes, you cannot go to sleep. Now this is how the Prophet ﷺ describes the Muslim Ummah. So if we are here today in peace, and our brothers have been slaughtered in India, our brothers have been slaughtered in Palestine, our brothers have been slaughtered in all those places, and then we sleep unconcerned. Ask yourself and let me ask myself, are we true believers? We are so our miserliness, we are very big misers that we cannot even say a dua for them. We cannot even devote and donate 2 minutes dua to our brothers in India, to our brothers in China, to our brothers in places that they have been oppressed, to our women folks. The Arabs were like that before the coming of Islam, and they were destroyed by this Abyssinian who came, and he just walked over them. So any nation that is not united should know that it has opened itself for defeat and loss. May Allah safeguard us. وَلِأَوَّلِ مَرَّ فِي تَارِيخِ الْعَرَبِ أَصْبَحَ لَهُمْ دَوْرٌ عَالَمِيٌّ يُؤَدُّونَهُ. After the advent of Islam, after the coming of Islam, uniting these tribes, it happened in their history for the first time that they now have a role to play. After falling under the banner of Islam, they became so powerful. Now there was a role that they played in the history of the world. لَهُمْ قُوَّةٌ يَحْسِبُ لَهَا أَلْفَ حِسَابٍ. They were so powerful, so strong. وَالَّذِي هَيَّعَ لِعَرَبْ هَذِهِ الْمَكَانَ هُوَ إِيمَانُهُمْ بِاللَّهِ جَلَّ شَأْنُهُ. And what gave Arabs that strength at that time and that power was their iman in Allah. Their belief in it, their faith in Allah Azza wa Jalla granted them that strength. And when you go back into history and you read after the Khilafah of Abu Bakr, as Umar radiallahu anhu took charge of the Muslim Khalifah, how the entire region bowed down to Muslims. In fact, Umar was the one, and in his era, who conquered Jerusalem. Conquered Jerusalem with a very few men. So much that even a king at that time said, "This your leader is no small leader. I would want to hand over the keys to Masjid al-Aqsa, the keys to the masjid. I would want to hand it over to your imam, your leader himself. So I would like to meet him." After Umar had deployed an army to conquer Jerusalem. Imagine the strength. And now look at us. This place, Masjid al-Aqsa, the Yahud, the filthy Jews, see what they are doing over there. But we are so weak that we cannot drive these people out of that place. And we all know for a fact that it is not their land. Look at every world map 100 years ago, and there was no Israel on the map. There is no Israel on the world map 100 years ago. No. There is no Israel. Don't be surprised. It is not there. No. It is not there. Find any map. Go online. Find a map and locate and see whether you can find Israel on any map. It was just placed there. But now the Ummah is so weak. And then we've neglected our brothers in Palestine. And we don't say anything. And then we've found some dubious so-called scholars, may Allah say God, guide them and then protect us. That battle has nothing to do with religion.
They are only fighting over territory. They are only political battles. Who told you they are political battles? Rethink things over again. May Allah safeguard us. وكل من له عدنى معرفة بتاريخ العرب قبل الإسلام وبعده يعلم أنه لم يكن للعرب قيمة تذكر ولا راية ترهب إلا بالإسلام. And any person who has an idea, who knows anything about the history of Arabs before Islam and then after Islam, how their lives transformed into after Islam, would know that the Arabs didn't have anything worth mentioning, and the Arabs were not respected people. They didn't have any banner, any flag that would rise up high, and people would be terrified about those flags, except when they came under the banner of Islam. وَبِهِ فَتَهُ الْبِلَادَ وَسَادُ الْعِبَادِ. It is through Islam, the unity of La ilaha illallah, through that they were able to conquer lands, they were able to lead people. So if you want to become a person who conquers, to become a person who leads, hold on to Iman, hold on to La ilaha illallah. Man khaf Allah. And take this qaida, take this rule from me. Man khaf Allah. Anyone who fears Allah, Allah makes everything fear them. If you fear Allah, Allah makes everyone and everything fear you. But when you don't fear Allah, Allah makes you afraid of everything. Do you understand it?
No.
If you fear Allah Azza wa Jalla, because of the fear that you have for Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah makes everything around you fear and then respect you. Because you fear Allah, you love Allah. But if you don't fear Allah, there is no Iman in the hearts. Then Allah makes you afraid of everything. A mouse passes by, you are terrified. You see your own shadow, you are afraid. And you see a black cat, you are worried. You hear guru guru in your ceiling, you are terrified, you are afraid. That is if you don't fear Allah Azza wa Jalla. But when you have the taqwa Allah, when you fear Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah holds the hearts of men and every creature. Don't you know Umar radiallahu anhu? A man, Rasulullah says about him, لَوْ سَلَكَ فَجًّا. If Umar should take a path and passes away, Shaitan doesn't pass where Umar passes. When Shaitan sees Umar, Shaitan runs away. This is Shaitan, the devil himself. Why? لأنه خاف الله واتقاه. Because Umar feared Allah. So Allah made the devil afraid of Umar. So if you also fear Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah Azza wa Jalla will put your respect and your love in the heart of people. People will see you and then there is nothing that you give them. They only see you, but they say, we respect this man. We respect this woman. This man, I don't know why, but I just like the man. But if you don't fear Allah Azza wa Jalla, then it's a whole different story. May Allah safeguard us.
Ameen.
وَالدَّعْوَةُ إِلَى الْعُرُوبَةِ كَغَايَةٍ إِذَا عَرَضْنَاهَا عَلَى ضَوْءِ الْإِسْلَامِ فبحثنا في القرآن الكريم نجد أنه لم يرد في القرآن المبين لفظ العروبة والعرب بعينها. This call, at that time the Arabs were calling each other to, that's their tribal way of life, not religion. What their main concern was, come and join my tribe. That's why if you remember from our previous lessons, those people were people who were only concerned about one another. If you are not one of them, then you will not be respected. If you are not one of them, then they are not helping you. So they call each other to that. Now, if you place that mentality, that mindset of that tribalism, if you place it on the light, on the scales of Islam, and you look through the Quran, you realize that in the entire Quran, there is nowhere the word Arabiya or Arab specifically has been stated. وَلَا نَجِدْ فِيهِ أَنَّ اللَّهَ تَعَالَى نَادَاهُمْ بِهَذَا اللَّفْظِ الْخَاصِ. And there is no way, or there is nowhere in the Quran you will find Allah Azza wa Jalla calling the Arabs directly. فَلَمْ يَقُلْ. So Allah never said, يَا أَيُّهَا الْعَرَبِ. Oh Arabs. Have you ever seen that ayah in the Quran? يَا أَيُّهَا الْعَرَبِ. Or يَا Arab, O Arabians. إِنَّمَا نَجِدْ But rather, what we find in the Quran is Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind. Ya bani Adam, O sons of Adam. Or Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, O you who believe. Wa kul ya ayyuhal kafirun, or those who disbelieve. So Allah Azza wa Jalla talks to people in regards to faith and iman, what they have, not tribes. No. That's what Allah tells us in Surah Al-Hujurat about tribes and nations and the taqwa Allah. Allah says, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha, wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qaba'ila lita'arafu, inna akramakum 'inda Allahi atqakum, inna Allah 'alimun khabir. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, O you who believe, Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha. Indeed, we have created you from male and female. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا. And then we've made you tribes and nations. Why? لِتَعَارَفُوا, so you know each other. That's the only reason why Allah Azza wa Jalla made us into tribes and nations. So you know each other. Not to place yourself above others. You are black, that does not mean you are superior to the white. You are white, that does not mean you are superior to the black. You are Arab, that does not mean you are superior to that. No. Rasulullah says, La farqa. There is no preference, there is no respect, there is no authority that the Arab has over the non-Arab. Likewise, the non-Arab over the person who is an Arab. So Allah says, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. We've placed you and then made you into tribes and nations so you know each other. Then Allah says, إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The most respected person in the sight of Allah is the one who fears Allah the most. So if you have more taqwa Allah Azza wa Jalla, then you hold a high position in the sight of Allah Azza wa Jalla. If your iman is low, then in the court of Allah, in the sight of Allah, you also have a low rank. May Allah safeguard us. يقول سماحة الشيخ عبد العزيز بن باز رحمه الله. الشيخ عبد العزيز بن باز رحمه الله. And I believe most of us have been hearing his name. Abdul Aziz bin Baz, one of the great shuyukh of this ummah, the great sheikhs of this ummah. And subhanallah, Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz was blind. Was blind. But Allah Azza wa Jalla opened the eyes of his heart and his mind. No, he's a Saudi. He was the Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia when he was alive. Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz was blind, but you come to him with a fatwa, and a blind man will give you references. You, a person with sight, go and read and confirm.
Allahu Akbar.
Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz, he says, إن الدعوة إلى القومية العربية. Now this claim calling to this Arab tribal system, كما أنها إساءة إلى الإسلام. That thing itself is an insult to Islam. Calling people, hey, where are the Eurobes? Where are the Chinese? Where are the this? Calling people to that tribal system is an insult to Islam. Yes, in the time of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, something happened amongst the Muhajirin and the Ansar. The Muhajirin were the Muslims who migrated from Mecca to Medina. They were called the Muhajirin. And then the Al-Ansar were the Muslims of Medina who received them. Something very, very small happened between them. And then the man from the Ansar, the people of Medina, said to this man from Mecca, Masa, you guys are foreigners. You just came and then you are here trying to say this and this and that. And this man also said, Masa, we are the carriers of Islam, we brought it here. So it became, a give and take situation between them. And then the man from Ansar shouted and called his people, Ya al-Ansar, where are my people? Come. This man wants to fool around here. This man also shouted, hey, Ya al-Muhajirin, where are the Muhajirin? Let's come. These people want to play around with us. When they called that, the Prophet heard that and said, Abi da'wa al-jahiliyyah wa ana bayna azhurikum. You guys have this pre-Islamic jahiliyyah, days of ignorance. These are the things of the people of ignorant days. Once I'm here, you guys are shouting, where are the Muhajirin? Where are the Ansar? Where are this tribe? Where is this tribe? Rasulullah says, Da'uha fa innaha muntina. leave that thing because it is filthy, it is smelly, it is repugnant. So today if you sit around, hey, where are the Zabranis? We are here. Where are the houses? We are here. Where are the Fulanis? We are here. Where are the Arabs? We are here. If that is your main concern, and then you don't think about where are Muslims, then it's an insult to Islam. So Sama'at Sheikh Al-Walid Al-Jadd, in respect to us, Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz says that claim is Isa'atun ila Islam, is an insult to Islam. وَمُحَارِبَةٌ لَهُ فِي بِلَادِهِ. In fact, it is a war against Islam in the land of Islam. So you are Arabs in the land of Islam, instead of calling towards Islam, you are rather calling towards your tribe. It's as though you are waging war against Islam. فَهِيَ أَيْضًا إِسَاءَةٌ إِلَى الْعَرَبِ أَنفُسِهِمْ. In fact, it is not just an insult to Islam, it is also an insult to the Arabs themselves. Calling each other to that Arab tribal way of thinking is an insult to the Arabs themselves. وَجِنَايَةٌ عَلَيْهِمْ عَظِيمَةٌ. And it is a crime against them, a very great crime against them. لِكَوْنِهَا تُفَصِّلُهُمْ عَنِ الْإِسْلَامِ. Because that claim, that tribal claim, separates them from Islam. So they are harming themselves. Because they are calling towards their tribal system, not to Islam. So it pushes them away from Islam. الَّذِي هُوَ مَجْدُهُمُ الْأَكْبَرُ. That Islam is their pride. Who were the Arabs before Islam? Who were they? Nothing. So if they are now calling to their tribal system and then pushing away Islam, they are rather harming themselves and waging wars against themselves as well. وَشَرَفُهُمُ الْأَعْظَمُ. And it's also their respect. وَمَصْدَرُ عِزِّهِمْ وَسِيَادَتِهِمْ عَلَى الْعَالَمِ. And it's the source of their victory. It is the source of their leadership. It is the source of their might. فكيف يرضى عربي عاقل بدعوة هذا شأنها وهذه غايتها. So how can a sensible Arab, a wise Arab, believe in this claim that let's call towards the Arab system and let's forget about Islam? How can a sensible Arab say that? ولهذا فإن في حادثة الفيل درسا بليغا. So in the story of the elephant, we are still upon it. Let's not forget. In the incident of the elephant, where this man vanquished most of the towns, darsan balighan, there is a very, very great lesson. A very, very beautiful lesson in it. لكل منخدع بالقومية العربية. For every person who has submitted himself to the Arab tribal system. So if you submitted yourself to the Akan tribal system as a Muslim, you've submitted yourself to the Dogomba tribal system or to the Hausa tribal system, you've submitted. Listen, in the story of the elephants, there are lessons for you. That is if you are wise. فَالْعَرَبْ مَدَى تَخَلَّوْا عَنْ دِينِهِمْ. So these Arabs, when they left their religion, that is Islam, وَعَادُوا إِلَى قَوْمِيَّتِهِمْ الْعَرَبِيَّةِ فَقَطْ. And then they returned back to their tribal system alone. فَلَنْ يَعْدُوا شَأْنَهُمْ شَأْنَ الْعَرَبِ يَوْمَ احْتَاجَهُمْ أَبْرَهَةُ الْحَبَشِ. Their situation or their life will not be so different from the Arabs in the time of Abraham. Do you get the lesson? So if now they become disunited and they call to their tribal system, I'm a Qurashi, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, and then they live an Islam and then they are no longer united, they go back to their life before Islam when this Abyssinian king came and then met every tribe and then destroyed them up until the time you got to Mecca. And then we see this clearly in the life of the Arabs today. Let's take a couple of examples. Saddam Hussein. He was hanged on the day of Eid. And the Arabs and the Muslim world was quiet. Right? Everyone looked at them. He was a person at that time who posed as one of the great threats against the West. Very, very powerful. I believe he fought with Bush the father. And Bush the father really tasted defeat in his hands. And Bush the son also came. Very, very powerful. Now, after Saddam Hussein was wiped out and taken out of the picture, at that time, Gaddafi was here in Libya, quietly. Before the assassination of Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi even wanted to, enthrone himself and make himself the Khalifa of the Muslims to get to face the West and then fight them. He was saying that. Even boasting of having nuclear weapons. But when they neglected Saddam Hussein, under the pretense of Saddam Hussein is, arrogant, Saddam Hussein is this, let's leave these differences aside. But they neglected one of them. When they neglected that one from amongst them, and then Gaddafi saw that Saddam Hussein has been wiped out, Gaddafi himself came and submitted his weapons. He himself came and submitted his nuclear weapons that, I have them, I was only waiting for the opportunity to come and show me that. So the West had the chance of entering his country and then finishing him as well. Because everyone left them. Go to Yemen. Bashar al-Assad. Isn't it the same story? Because they've returned to their tribal system. I'm a Kuwaiti. I'm a man from Qatar. I'm a Yemeni. I'm an Iraqi. I'm that. I'm a Saudi. I'm not going to interfere in this. So we are being picked up like that. Because but these people never leave one of them. You guys know history much better than I do. I have my father's here. Ariel Sharon, the former president of what? Which country? Ariel Sharon.
Russia.
Russia?
Oh.
Hey. Ariel Sharon is an Israeli.
Israel. Sharon.
Ariel Sharon.
The pronunciation.
Yes, Ariel Sharon. He sold his people out.
Israel.
He sold them out. When he sold them out, even from amongst them, the Yahud, they don't respect him. But when people wanted to stand up against him, they all rallied and supported him. And he's one of them. But if from amongst them, they didn't like him, they didn't respect him. But because an outside force is coming, no, we are not allowing that. So they stood up for him. So it is time we as Muslims throw away this tribal system. Let's throw it aside and let's hold on firmly to Al-Islam and Al-Islam alone. May Allah safeguard us. Point number 4. موقف عبد المطلب وهو مشرك. The stance of Abdul Muttalib in the story. And do you remember his stance? His stance was that when the king came to destroy them, he collected some 200 camels belonging to Abdul Muttalib, right? So Abdul Muttalib came to the king and said to the king, give me my camels. And the king said to him, you are here talking to me about your camels and then you are leaving the religion of your fathers? And Abdul Muttalib says, I am the master of the camels, I have them. But that house you are here to destroy has its master, the master will protect it, right? That's the stance of Abdul Muttalib. Now the stance of Abdul Muttalib was mushrik. And he's a mushrik at that time, he wasn't Muslim. Because the Prophet wasn't born yet. All these things the Prophet wasn't born yet. So Abdul Muttalib was a mushrik, a pagan at that time. يوحي للمسلم بوجوب الاعتماد على الله سبحانه وتعالى. This tells the believer, this tells and reinforces in the heart and in the mind of the Muslim that it is compulsory to rely upon Allah Azza wa Jalla والتوكل عليه والثقة بنصره. Reliance upon Allah Azza wa Jalla and then believe that Allah Azza wa Jalla will grant you victory. فإذا كان عبد المطلب يقول, if Abdul Muttalib was saying وَلِلْبَيْتِ رَبْ يَحْمِيهِ, that house has its Lord and its master who will protect it. يَقُولُهَا وَهُوَ وَاثِقٌ, he is saying this statement وَلِلْبَيْتِ رَبْ يَحْمِيهِ, that house has a Lord that will protect it. He is saying it وَهُوَ وَاثِقٌ, with full conviction, with belief that أَنَّ لِهَذَا الْبَيْتِ رَبًّا, that house has a Lord سَيَتَوَلَّى حِمَايَتَهُ. That Lord will take care of protecting the house. So Abdul Muttalib wasn't just saying that the house has a Lord, the Lord will protect the house. He wasn't just saying it, but he was saying it with full belief and conviction that this house has a Lord, and that Lord will protect that house. فَمَاذَا يُقَالُ لِلْمُسْلِمِ. So what do we say to the Muslim today? الَّذِي يَغْفَلُ عَنْ هَذَا الْمَعْنَى. A Muslim who has forgotten this meaning about trust and reliance in Allah Azza wa Jalla. This is a man who was a mushrik. He was fully convinced that Allah Azza wa Jalla would protect the house, and he was a pagan. And today a Muslim forgets that Allah Azza wa Jalla is powerful. Allah will protect him. Allah will grant him goodness. Allah will grant him relief. So how can you think like that? And Nasrullahi subhanahu wa ta'ala lidini wa nabihi wa ibadihi salihin. So how can you also forget the help that Allah Azza wa Jalla will give his religion and his prophet and then his righteous servants? Allah has promised he is going to religion, he is going to protect his prophet. So how can you doubt that? And this is a pagan who has not doubted in the powers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ما أحوج المسلمين اليوم وهم يتعلقون كثيرا بالأسباب. Today the Muslim is so much engrossed with al-asbab. Sababi kaza kaza. If and buts. That's what the Muslim today has tied his heart and his mind to. If this doesn't happen, then no, that is not possible. If no. That is the life of the Muslim today. How much do we need? We are in severe need of this belief and this understanding. وَكَثِيرٌ مِّنْهُمْ يَتَخَبَّطْ فِي الْبَحْثِ عَنْ أَسْبَابِ النَّصْرِ. A lot of Muslims today are struggling and striving to find ways and means of attaining victory in this life. Now, we all want to be victorious, right? You want to make money. You want to gain knowledge. You want to be in a state of, in a position of leadership. Probably you want to get married. Probably you want this. Probably you want that. In anything that you can think of. A lot of Muslims today, they are falling left and right. And asbab al-nasri. أن يستشعروا أولا. If you are seeking for material evidence to believe that that thing you want to happen, understand first and foremost أولا عظمة الثقة بالله ونصره. Believe in the greatness of Allah and the greatness of believing in Allah Azza wa Jalla and His promise of victory. Believe in that first and foremost. That Allah is powerful, Allah is strong. If you are thinking that numbers, a lot of people, that is what is going to grant you victory, go back and look at the Muslims in the first decisive battle in Islam, the Battle of Badr. The highest number of Muslims 313. That is the highest number recorded, 313. Only 72 had animals to ride. So 200 plus came to the Battle of Badr walking. I believe less than 200 even had swords to fight with. Some came with sticks, others came with bones to fight. And they didn't even leave home with the intention of fighting. They only left home because they heard that Abu Sufyan was carrying some goods. So they wanted to intercept Abu Sufyan, round him up, and then just take the goods from him. That was why they left home. They didn't leave for this intention of battle. The Quraysh and the pagans at that time came with 1,000 plus men. So 1,000 against 300 men, a ratio of at least 1:3. So one Muslim faces 3 kuffar, 3 disbelievers, 1:3. And you don't have a sword. You're only fighting with a stick. So if numbers is what would give people victory, do you think victory would have been for the Muslims in the Battle of Badr? Abadan. But it goes beyond numbers. Victory lies in the hands of the one who gives victory, who Allah. He is Allah. So Allah Azza wa Jalla granted the Muslims a decisive victory. In that battle, the lives of Abu Jahl were killed. To tell you the great loss that the kuffar tasted and faced in the battle of Badr. But in the battle of Hunayn, to make you realize that it is not numbers, Allah tells the Muslims, وَيَوْمَ حُنَيْنٍ إِذْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ. In the battle of Hunayn, Allah is telling the believers, when you felt that, MashaAllah, لَا نُهْزَمْ مِنْ عَدَدٍ أَوْ عِتَادٍ. The companions were saying, God, look at our numbers. Even in Badr, we were just few, we won. Look at our numbers now. We are many, we are powerful, we are strong. There's no way we can be defeated. So Allah says, إِذْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ. Your numbers entered your head and then you forgot Allah. You forgot that victory is given by whom? Allah. You forgot that. إِذْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ. The Allah says, فَلَمْ تُغْنِ عَنْكُمْ شَيْئًا. That numbers did not benefit you. وَضَاقَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْأَرْضِ. In fact, the Muslims were crushed in the battle of Hunayn, and there were many then. So, as a believer, your trust first and foremost should be in Allah, not in your strength, not in your wisdom, not in your wits, not in your money, not in your friend, not in your brother, not in your father, not in anyone, but in Allah. Some of us, or some people, alhamdulillah, Allah Azza wa Jalla has blessed them with very, very smart and intelligent memories. They read something, and then the person understands it. Now, you find such a student in Allah safeguard us saying, I'm very, very smart. You know, when I read something small, I just go into the examination, I read something and I memorize, I'm okay. So this person now starts relying upon his knowledge and his intelligence, and then he forgets who gives the knowledge and the intelligence. We know people who have walked into examination halls and then their minds went blank. The mind just went zero, nothing. He walked out and then he failed. There was a young man in school, one of the very, very bright students. You know what Allah Azza wa Jalla did with him? And I heard that he was one of those who were saying, this year, I'm clearing all the subjects. You know, students say. The night before the examination, he went to the masjid, and the mosque, that is where we normally do our serious revision as students. He went to the masjid, spent the entire night reading and revising, making notes. After Salat al-Fajr, he said, let me just relax, and I'll get up and then go and write the paper. When he woke up, the paper was over. Now, if such a person has relied only upon his wisdom and how smart he is, you see what Allah Azza wa Jalla has done? I'm not saying Allah punished him for that. Allah knows best. Okay, I'm not saying Allah punished him. But I want you to realize that if you want to rely upon your strength or upon your wit or upon your family or upon you, because you know someone, realize, place your trust in Allah first before anything. Because you might put your trust in a person that if I go to MP so and so, honorable so and so, I know he is going to take care of my needs. I know he is going to give me something for rice, for chop money. You can go there and then the MP is not even at home that day. Isn't it possible?
Yes.
You might even go there and then you give excuses. You might even go there and then genuinely he doesn't have money that day. Genuinely he doesn't have. He's not telling you. Genuinely he doesn't have. Isn't that possible? Place your trust in Allah Azza wa Jalla. One of the sheikhs said, Man i'tamada ala nasi man. Anyone who relies upon people will dodge you one day. When you rely on people, they will dodge you one day. Even if you are told, okay, someone tells you every morning, come to my house. It's not money, I'm not going to give you. Just sand and then put it in your hands. Every morning, come to my house, that is what I'm going to do. You come the first day, you collect sand, not from his own pocket. Sand outside, ordinary sand. He collects the sand, places it in your hands, you go. The following day you come, okay, you are here, sand as well. He takes the sand in your hands again the second time. The third time, the fourth time, after 1 week to 2 weeks, when you are coming to, isn't that the situation?
No.
Isn't that the reality? This is a human being, you relied upon him. But anyone who relies upon Allah Azza wa Jalla, even if you don't call upon Allah, Allah is angry. Why don't you call me? Why don't you make dua? So today, the Muslim is supposed to rely upon Allah Azza wa Jalla first and foremost, and know that it is not your strength, it is not your wisdom that grants you that. وَهُوَ سُبْحَانَهُ الْقَائِلِ. It is Allah Azza wa Jalla, the Almighty, who says, إِن تَنْصُرُوا اللَّهَ يَنْصُرُكُمْ وَيُثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَكُمْ. When you support Allah, Allah is also going to support you. وَيُثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَكُمْ. And Allah is going to reaffirm your feet. If Allah Azza wa Jalla supports you, is there anyone or anything that can destroy you or push you away? Abadan. So support Allah. Place your trust in Him. Place your belief in Him. In anything, do that. This is what Abdul Muttalib is doing when he is a mushrik. When this man came, he says, well, we have no power to fight you. What I can do is I can take back my elephant, my camels. That is what I can do. But that house, I don't have the power to protect it. But it has a Lord who will protect it. It has a master who will protect it. And he believed in that. And Allah Azza wa Jalla sends down a miracle sends down a war that man does not know of. Birds fighting a battle. Birds fighting a battle. Because of the trust and then the belief this man had in Allah Azza wa Jalla. وَهُوَ الْقَائِلُ سُبْحَانَهُ. It's Allah Azza wa Jalla who says, Al-Hadithat al-Fil, about the incident of the elephant. أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ فِي تَضْلِيلٍ. Is it Allah, the one who made all the plans of these people? Allah Azza wa Jalla just made foolish and made nonsense all their plans. Let's read point number 5 quickly, and then we'll conclude inshallah. إن عبد المطلب عندما قال عبارته المشهورة. When Abdul Muttalib said that statement that we've already heard and memorized, that the Lord or the house has a Lord, the Lord will protect the house. وَلِلْبَيْتِ رَبِّ يَحْمِيهِ لم يقلها من باب التخلي عن تحمل المسؤولية. He didn't say it because he was running away from taking responsibilities. Let's think carefully. When he told this man, I'm here for my elephants and for my camels. This house has its Lord, the Lord will protect it. Someone might think that Abdul Muttalib was running away from accepting responsibility of protecting the house. But Abdul Muttalib never said that. He never said that statement with the intention of running away from responsibility. Why? وَهُمُ الْعَرَبِ. They are the Arabs. الْمَعْرُوفُونَ بِأُنْفَتِهِمْ وَعِزَّتِهِمْ وَشَرِعَتِهِمْ. Arabs are known for their strength, they are known for their resilience, they are known for their never dying, no dying spirit. They are known for that. You can even see, to those of you, if you've not read about the Arabian history, you watch football matches. When you are playing against an Arab state, you know it is not over until the final whistle is blown. Very, very powerful, very, very tough people, tough guys. Now, if you know Arabs to be like that, how can you think that Abdul Muttalib said that because he was running away from responsibility? It is the Arab man who can just and then kill himself and then kill people, even though we never condone that. We don't condone that. But this is what an Arab man is willing to do. So if these people are known to be like that, وَلَكِنَّهُ قَالَهَا مِنْ بَابِ الْإِنذَارِ وَالتَّهْدِيدِ لِلْأَبْرَارِ. Abdul Muttalib said that statement as a warning to this man that, Masa, where you are headed, that house has a Lord, so be careful. That is the meaning of what he said. فَهَذَا الْكَلَامُ فِي ظَاهِرِهِ كَلَامُ فِيهِ السُّهُولَ وَالْلِينِ. Now this statement that the Lord has the house has its Lord, the Lord will protect it. When you see that word outwardly, it looks like a word of leniency, an easygoing word. يتصور بعض الناس أنه لا يكون إلا الضعيف. And some people might think that these words are words that no one would say except a weak person, except the person who is afraid of taking responsibilities. وليس الأمر كذلك, but the issue is not like that. بل هو كلام يخفي في ثناياه الإنذار الشديد لهذا الرجل النصراني. But that word, know that the Lord has, the house has, know that that statement in it is hidden some very, very severe warning. Very, very huge words against Abraham, this man. ينبه فيه إلى أنه لا يحارب أحدا من أهل مكة. Abdul Muttalib basically was telling this man that you are not fighting the people of Mecca. It is not the people of Mecca you are fighting. إنما يحارب الله جل شأنه. In fact, he is fighting with whom? Allah Azza wa Jalla. That is what the statement means. You are not fighting us, but you are fighting Allah. وَيَحْدِمُ بَيْتًا بَنَاهُ خَلِيلُ اللَّهِ بِأَمْرٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى. And the man should know that he is here to destroy a house built by Ibrahim alayhi salam out of the command of Allah. So Allah ordered Ibrahim to build the house. So this man is here fighting against Allah to destroy the house Allah ordered Ibrahim alayhi salam to build. فَهُوَ تَحْدِيدٌ وَوَعِيدٌ قَالَوْ عَبْدُ الْمُطَّلِبِ. So this is a strong warning that Abdul Muttalib gave وَهُوَ مُشْرِكٌ, whilst he was a pagan. وَيَنْبَغِي دَائِمًا أَنْ يَكُونُهُ الْمُسْلِمُ الْقَوِيُّ الْمُنْتَصِرُ بِاللَّهِ. This is a statement that a Muslim, one who seeks the help of Allah Azza wa Jalla, one who seeks victory for Allah, and one who wants to fight for the religion of Islam in his own small way, the person is supposed to have that belief that this Lord, this house has a Lord that will protect. This is a warning for a war, a warning about a war that man does not know about it. And can a man fight Allah Azza wa Jalla? So if anyone does anything and they say they are going to destroy our masjid, yes, we will stand and fight, but let them know that they are fighting Allah Azza wa Jalla, and that battle is a battle that man is not used to, and there is no way a person can stand and fight against Allah Azza wa Jalla. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us goodness and forgive all errors that occurred. Wa sallallahu wa sallim ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ala khair wa sallam taslima kathira. Wa assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.